Mike, you've gone back to places where you've played before for a long time and felt what that's like. What do you think it's going to be like on Thursday when Cat comes back here?
Yeah, it'll be emotional for sure for Cat. I know we all miss him, and he, obviously treats this as home, and fans will be, piling in to see him. And he'll have to do a lot of, talking, seeing a bunch of familiar faces, which will bring back a bunch of memories, I'm sure. And it's always tough, but you try to keep it at basketball as much as you can. But at some point during that game, there's gonna, there'll be an emotional attachment to it that, it's hard to explain.
Mike, when you go ahead. What you said everybody kind of misses, and what do you miss most, or what did you just enjoy most about really getting to know him and being with him on a day-to-day basis? What stood out to you the most?
Just him as a person more than anything. We know what kind of a player he is. The energy he brought every day, just playful sometimes just super smart, witty, whatever it may be, being funny, just being himself. He wasn't trying to be anybody else but himself, and you respect that about him. He comes in every day and does that, and something that we get used to. And then when they leave, it's like, dang, like you miss those moments that you see every day in practice. So those are a couple things.
What were the maybe basketball differences you thought would happen changing kind of from Karl to Julius versus what it's been? Kind of like what you thought was going in versus what it's actually like.
It's interesting because with Cat, you just thought about his shooting at his size is what sets him apart from most bigs in the league. Julius can shoot the ball too, but we know what kind of a dynamic player he is getting in the paint and just being ball dominant and having the ball in his hands. And those are the two differences. Trying to get used to those two different styles of games and how we play off of Julius, how he plays off of us, which has taken us a little bit of time, and we're starting to figure it out a little bit as we go. And just trying to utilize Ju the best as we can because he's such a dynamic player, one of the best post-up players in the league right now, and can play inside out. So we're just trying to continue to lean more towards things that make him who he is and help our team be as best we can.
Julius shoots more threes than Karl and has the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Is what's kind of played out. Is that it's not as much of the three. It hasn't turned out to be as much of the 3-point thing.
Yeah.
What does that been like?
I think that's just how it's the ball is rolled right now. I think a little bit it has to do with sometimes he's having to take some tough shots late in the shot clock, or our spacing isn't as good because we're not in the right spots for him, or we just have to, like I said, we're trying to figure that out as the season goes on. But there's games where we do it the right way and our offense clicks, and he's getting wide open shots, he's getting in the paint, he's making plays for everybody, getting guys good looks, which we try to use that a lot. He's a secondary playmaker behind and myself and guys like that are trying to get guys involved, and we try to get that through to him. We need him to be aggressive. We need him to look to score.
So you finally got more of the empty side pick and roll with you and Rudy in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously still effective. Why has it been so difficult to get to that this year?
I think a little bit, honestly. I don't have the ball in that position as much. I don't. I run in the corners a lot. I kind of try to space for Julius. Dante and Akil. We have a lot of ball handlers now that bring the ball up. So I'm not just looked to just to bring it up every time. So I spend a lot of time just being a basketball player more than trying to be the point guard. So I think that the more I can force my way into that spot, force my way into deep corners, whether it's from an ATO or side out of bounds or in transition, try to look for it more. I think it's still something that, a weapon that we haven't been able to utilize as much.
Offense probably has suffered because of that. So is that on you to force it more, to try to get the offense more on track of where a championship level team is?
Yeah, for sure. I can be way more assertive on that side. I tend to sometimes be in the background and can play off the ball and just do what I do, and that's not good enough for us sometimes offensively. So I got to kind of inject myself into the game, be more ball dominant, get the ball in my hand, and get to the deep corners, get to pick and rolls, try to get some more actions other than Anthony and Julius.
Why are you so intentional about throwing the ball back to Ant after he throws it to you so often?
Well, he wants the ball for one, but two, just I think it's a good action for us because I feel like I'm one of the quickest like cutters and screeners and slippers that we might have, that I can get it to him and hit him and screen real quick and slip out, and he might hit me back, or I just create another lane for him to get space for him to drive and make a play. And you develop a little trust there, where he knows, like, I can get off this ball. I know Mike's looking to get it back to me at some point. It's where he's not just trying to pound the ball away and waste all his energy. So I think it's just a way to be a safety valve, but at the same time knowing I'm looking for him.
Mike, you've talked a couple times about being a mentor to Rob and keeping him sane when he wasn't playing. How has it kind of felt watching him get playing time, being successful in that playing time, and what do you see out of him that really shows that he can be a big part of this team moving forward?
Man, just excited. He's exciting. He's exciting to be around every day in practice. His energy, his attention to detail has been really good. Like, he really wants to be great, and you can tell. He has a mean streak to him, and all that translates when he comes out on the court. He for the most part, he's out there playing fearless and trying to be himself. And he wants to do everything right. He wants to do. He's a rookie. He wants to appease coach. He wants to appease the game plan. But at the same time, we want to see him do what he does. We want him to be aggressive and pull up for threes. Break people down, get to the paint. And be in his natural state, which I think he's getting more and more comfortable with. And the more minutes he gets, the more time is the better he's going to be.
Play next to him a little bit. You guys played next to each other a little bit.
Last game.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
Yeah.
First time. Not in practice, nothing. We've only guarded each other, and that's it.
Okay.
But I enjoy that. I love being out there with even smaller lineups or other guards and another point guard, and I can be the point guard, let him be him, just go and score and be, athletic at the rim and just be so dynamic. I think that's a good look.
They probably did it by accident then.
Yeah, maybe. It had to. I looked up, I said, there's no way me and Rob are in together.
Mike, you guys have been so good defensively. Like, on Thursday, is this a really good test for really how far you guys have come on that end, just with everything that they can throw at you guys? Yeah.
It's going to be a challenge for sure. It's going to be one of the better teams out there. They have a unique lineup, with their size and Brunson and their length and stuff like that creates issues, and we're going to have to be able to adjust on the fly. They can't just come in with the game plan and think that it's going to work. They're going to be good enough to adjust to us, so we're going to have to make our game plan adjustments mid-game and see if we can continue this defensive style that we've been playing.
How's this team different off the floor this season?
Different off the floor. I think we're pretty similar off the floor. Like I said, Cat's the only unique piece of it was, how unique he is off the floor. So that's the only difference. I think everybody else, Julius, cool. Dante, cool. Like, everybody's still the same, and we still do the same stuff.
You talked about the homecoming thing with Cat. Like, you, Rudy, going back to Utah, you to Utah too, but also probably especially you to Memphis. Like, you're in it on a day-to-day basis when you're like in Memphis playing there, and like putting your time in the community and whatnot. Like, what is it like feeling the love and appreciation of when you really have a chance to soak it in coming back, and you're probably thinking about those things more than when you were in it? Like, what, like the tribute video, I'm sure, and all the stuff and the applause. Yeah. Like, what is that like, just receiving that kind of stuff?
Honestly, it's like it's crazy because it feels like you're just super humbled at the time, because it's like, man, I remember doing all this, but you were so into that moment at the moment that you didn't, it wasn't everything to you at that time, but it was cool at the time, but it wasn't everything. When you look back at it, and you're like, man, that was like, I miss that. Like, I miss being at that function, or I miss, being with those group of guys, or that coach, or that game game 7 game, whatever it is that moment is for you. It's just amplified, and that's where the emotion kind of builds up. You're like, man, that was a good ride, and just brings back a lot of good memories.
How hard was your first game back in Memphis?
Oh, the Memphis game was the hardest one. I don't think I made a shot. I maybe made 2 or 3, but it was crazy, because it was like, I saw every usher, like every person I'd like dap up before the game, like. And I talked to everybody. Like, it was like I don't even think I went through my warm up and like anything. I was just making my rounds, talking to every coach, every player, all the fans. There was a lot of fans that I saw that I would see every single day. We were there, so it was just a lot. It was a lot. A lot of family there. Just a mess, but it was crazy.